Hello everyone, I am Abigail Barella and I'm with Sparkle and Shine Guidance, and I wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about this upcoming full moon that we will have early. If you're in Pacific Standard Time, it's early Sunday morning. If you are not, it's at a different time, so you can look that up, and it's in 3 degrees of Pisces, and Pisces is the water sign that is mutable. It is highlighting this opposition of a mutable full moon. So the sun has moved into Virgo, and I think it's pretty out here, so a very Virgo scene here. So I wanted to be out here, but the sun is in Virgo and the moon is going to be in Pisces starting not till late Saturday night, well, because it's in 3 degrees, somewhere very close to the full moon it will move in. So we'll have this dose of Piscean energy all the way through Monday. So, which brings me to not only the full moon happening this weekend on early Sunday morning if you're in Pacific Standard Time, and then also the Mars going direct on Monday, and that will be in Capricorn, so that's an earth sign, and I want to talk a little bit about what that means. So I'm going to talk about Mars going direct. I'm going to talk about this grand Earth trine that is lit up right now. It's happening right now, and it will be throughout the weekend and into Tuesday. And that's a really beautiful thing with this full moon. So it actually sets up a kite formation in a chart. So you guys, when I talk about these things, someone just, the more I get into my chosen profession, the more it's hard for me to understand when people are like, how do I explain astrology that makes sense to someone that doesn't believe in astrology? Well, astrology is a science. I'm like, I don't even understand your question. It's a science. Like, it's like not believing in science. Paco, that's not very attractive. It's like not believing in science. So I don't care or wish to explain why astrology is real, but I can tell you that everything is energy, right? We know that, and that's been scientifically proven for many, many years, and that there's math plays into energy, and basically the planets, where they are in the sky, they highlight patterns, they highlight aspects to each other, and this is all, it's like laws of the universe, it's the law of relations, and so having this as something that is just set up as this full moon with this kite formation, it's undeniable. So it's kind of creating this ease to this full moon. Typically with a full moon, that polarity creates tension. It shows us, it illuminates, it shows us where, if we set intention at the new moon, it shows us where we've been blocking ourselves, where we've been creating resistance to our own intentions. And so really looking at the polarity of the houses, and I'll do a house by house for you guys too, since I have the time, and my dog is eating those things. So, so I want to talk about that kite formation, what it is. I want to talk about the grand Earth trine, and I want to talk about Mars going direct. But first, let me start with the full moon in Pisces. When we have the full moon in a water sign, it's amplified. The energies are amplified. And Pisces is the dreamiest of the dream, the most ethereal. It's ruled by Neptune. There's been a lot of Neptunian energy, and that is the greatest. It's like the not third dimension, it's like the fifth dimension. So we've been getting lots of doses of this summer. This is why there's many reasons why I'm calling this the summer of transformation, but this is one of them. And Neptune is all about bringing in the spirit, bringing in this knowing, this sixth sense. And it is in our intuition and just knowing things without knowing why you know them. I talk about that a lot with people who have 12th house placements. 12th house is Pisces house, and so people who have a lot of those placements, or even 1 or 2 placements, they're going to know things without knowing why they know them, or not being able to prove how they know things. And this is just how it works. But with Pisces and Virgo together, that polarity, so Pisces is knowing things without knowing why they know them, and all wanting to merge and bring things together. And Virgo is wanting to separate things out and structure them so that it makes them feel safer and like they have control. And Pisces is, there's no control. The sense of control is totally gone. So the polarity of that, right? And depending on where this is in your chart, and I'm going to do a house by house after I explain the other 2 things that are happening. The polarity of this creates this ability to bring the spirit into our day-to-day, to bring the spirit into our need to create rituals, our need to feel like we have some sense of control. Right now, for many people right now are feeling like they don't have a lot of control, and it's scary. It's a scary feeling. And I just posted my horoscopes up on my blog if you're interested in looking at those, but in the Capricorn one, because Capricorn loves structure too, all of the earth signs love structure, but Capricorn likes to manage and really like put it to work, and so they can be really harsh. And so I was writing in the horoscope, you know, the whole financial system is crashing. But you know, I don't know if that's actually true. It kind of already has, and we're living this illusion of like just the way we think of money and what money is, and actually when you look at it, it's kind of just this without any foundation, right? So all of that is changing, so we don't really have control, and that can be scary for a lot of people. But that's why astrology and learning about your specific chart can be so helpful in your life, because you can understand where you can assert your control and where you need to let go. I love that prayer. I forget exactly how it goes, but it's what is the Serenity Prayer? I should know it, but it's basically asking, you know, let me have the power to control the things I can and let go of the things I can't. I'm kind of embarrassed that I can't remember that prayer, but basically you get the gist. That's a great prayer for this weekend. And looking at where 3 degrees of Pisces is in your chart, where 3 degrees of Virgo is in your chart, and I will do a house by house, but that's this full moon is like illuminating where you've wanted control, where you've wanted to feel like you could have a sense of managing or being of service. But Pisces is coming in and creating this whole new idea of that, and this whole new idea of how to bring spirituality into your life in a bigger way, and how to bring in the things that are going to make you feel more okay with not having control and okay with going with the flow. And so again, I'll do the house by house. But the other thing that's happening, so this kite formation that's being formed, it's a grand earth trine, Uranus in Taurus, Saturn in Capricorn, and the Sun in Virgo are forming this grand earth trine. And so Uranus is all about sudden changes, uncontrolled changes. Saturn is all about discipline. It is the ruler of Capricorn, so it's very much, we're going to have the structure, we're going to like manage this, we're going to control it. And Uranus in Taurus is like, it's all getting broken up. So that is a little bit of a challenge. And then the Sun in Virgo brings the ease. And so it is in our day-to-day, it is in our routines, and it is in bringing those spiritual practices into our daily routines that we're going to be okay with the changes. We're going to accept the changes and, you know, do that whole accepting what we can't change and controlling what we can change. So that's a really important just way of thinking this weekend as we move forward. And again, looking where your earth placements are. Where's Capricorn, where's Uranus, and where is Virgo in your chart? If you have been following me at all this year, you'll know that I have not stopped talking about Uranus, Saturn, and also Mars. So they're all key players this year. Of course, other players have been in the flow, and Mercury has gone direct and is now retraveling over Leo, creating the courage to actually make the changes. Whereas when it was retrograding, we had to look at where we needed to make the changes, where we needed to change our thought processes and our communication, and now it's like, okay, now it's go time. So the grand earth trine with this full moon on early Sunday morning is creating this kite formation. And the kite formation is, in astrology, we think of it as ease. We think of it as the ability to soar, this like gliding action. And who wants more of this than what we've been through in this last year with the astrology? So this is creating ease to this full moon, even though this full moon might bring up deep subconscious and kind of neuroticism and mental ideas and places where we've wanted control, and like you might have like dreams or subconscious things come to the surface that are uncomfortable, but this kite movement gives you the ability to move it and to move it forward. So that's a really beautiful thing that we have going for us. And we have Mars, which is in the last few degrees of Capricorn, 28 degrees to be exact, going direct on Monday. So look in your chart and see if anything is, you know, within 5 degrees on either side of Capricorn, 28 degrees of Capricorn, because that's going to be pretty big for you, but also obviously if there's any oppositions or things like that happening too. This is why getting a chart reading by me or someone that does astrology is really helpful, because you can look at what transits are going to be going on. And my full birth chart readings are $230, and then I also offer half an hour follow-up. So if you've worked with me in the past, you can do a half an hour follow-ups, and they are $75. So that's a way to continue to work with me. And Mars going direct on Monday is big. It's all the places where you've been frustrated, especially as Mars has been in Capricorn. It's brought up more frustrations because, again, it's that earth sign that really wants productivity, really wants to see the results. It's very much the patriarchy. It's very masculine, even though it's a feminine sign, just in terms of like that drive and that like not giving up. It's the mountain goat. So it's like trekking up the mountain no matter what, no matter how many bones you've broken, no matter how tired you are. And so for Mars being retrograde there, Mars is our masculine and our moving forward. So there's a lot of frustration that got brought up. So thankfully Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we will feel more productive. We'll feel like we know where to move forward. So it's a really great week to set up some time to do planning for the next month for, this upcoming September. And to also just be aware that things that you've been frustrated on, you might want to like write those things down, because that will all shift, and it's good to know where you've been growing this summer, where you've been noticing, where you want to see change. Okay, so those are the things that I wanted to talk about, and then I'm going to do a house by house for this full moon. So if you know where 3 degrees of Pisces is in your chart, this is going to be really helpful to you. And I'll start with Pisces on your rising or in your first house. So if it's on your rising or in your first house, or both, so it's going to be the chart, the ruler of the first house. So this full moon is bringing out the emotional needs for change in your identity. So if you have been working with your mindset or mantras, it would be a great time to bring out those and to clear away and create some kind of ritual and releasing. So with the full moon, we want to do ritual around releasing. So having to do with water is great, like even just getting into the river safely. Getting into the river, and me and my friend just did this thing. It's so beautiful, and you kind of dunk under to release. You dunk under to release anything that you've done. And Alicia, you'll have to tell me if I'm saying this right, but I think you dunk under to release any harm that you've done to others. And then you dunk in again to release any harm that others have done to you. And then you dunk in again to receive the blessings from the river and the earth. So that's a really beautiful thing to do this weekend for whatever your placements are. But for the first house, it's really changing your identity and the way you want to be seen in the world and the way that you want to assert yourself as a healer. If you have Pisces on your first house, or your cusp ruler of your first house, your identity, people just see you as someone that can bring healing. So regardless of if you're in alignment with that or not, you do want to be aware that that's happening. So if you have Pisces in your second house, and this full moon's happening in 3 degrees of Pisces, so you want to look at where that is. So it could be still in your first house. You have to look at exactly where 3 degrees is. And how you do this, looking at the degrees, is really easy, you guys, if you know how to just at the start of that sign, there's going to be a line there, and you just count 3 little checks over. And this is why astrology school is so helpful, and I have that. So if you're interested in studying with me, it's a great time to do that. But 3 degrees of Pisces falling in your second house means that, oh my gosh, my phone is going to die. I'm going to finish this video. Don't you worry. So 3 degrees of Pisces falling in your second house. This is your resources, your personal security, and with Pisces there's this possibility of going unconscious when things get too hard, and so the need to really be cognizant and aware of where you're going unconscious, where you're releasing control or power over what you can control in your life, and choosing to see it as more of a victim standpoint. That's going to be really up for you, and you can do some release around this if you want to. If you have Pisces on the third house, Pisces in the third house is going to be bringing up issues of clear communication, having more clear communication, especially with people closest to you, friends, siblings, family, and inner community, and really being aware of where you need to learn new communication skills and not be as thinking that your way is always the right way, and seeing other people's point of view. If you have Pisces in the 4th house, this is your home and family, the house of home and family and security. And so if you have Pisces here, it's definitely going to want to root into the home and create some ritual around cleansing the home, creating, I don't know if you sage smudge, or you can do some kind of ritual to really make your home feel more cozy to you so that you can excel in your work and when we get closer to that Virgo new moon. Okay, and then the 5th house, if you have this full moon happening for you in the 5th house, which is Pisces in the 5th house, then you're going to want to have some kind of ritual around releasing past beliefs about who you are as a creator and someone who can assert their will of courage and creativity. So if you have an art form that you haven't gotten back to in a while, or you want to try out painting, or you want to do something like that, this is the opportune time to do that and to reach out to community and stop seeing yourself as an outsider and really allow the help to come in. If you have Pisces in your 6th house, this is an interesting placement. It can be a little bit difficult because you're kind of turned inside out, because the 6th house is Virgo's house and you have Pisces here, okay? If you have Pisces here. And so 3 degrees of Pisces in your 6th house means that your daily work and routines, you need to infuse more spirituality, you need to infuse more magic into your day-to-day routines to really ground in. And there can be health issues that come through. You might be someone who processes energy and other people's stuff for them, and you need to stop doing that. Easier said than done, right? But you need to look at this because it might be coming up for you, and this is an opportunity for you to purge it and clear it. Pisces in the 7th house. Pisces in the 7th house, I think I have this. Or is it my 8th house? Anyway, not important. But Pisces in the 7th house is needing to really release ideas about what relationship, especially partnership, is and what it looks like, and thinking that your identity has to shift in order for you to make relationship work. There you go. Pisces in the 8th house. Pisces in the 8th house with this full moon in the 8th house is illuminating and highlighting your, so that's double water, just so you know. And it's like Pisces is the deepest of the water, and Scorpio, I know, Paco, you're being so patient. Pisces is the deepest of the water, and Scorpio is the magic, like, transformation alchemy of the water. And so it's like double water, double emotions. And so you're doing some deep work right now. This is a good time to get a chart reading with me, or to do some healing work with somebody but me. And this is really transforming and transcending your beliefs about other people. Again, it's like other people. We look at 7th house as partnership, 8th house as other people's resources. So there might be things going on with other people's resources that you need to look at, and where you're going unconscious and not taking full responsibility, but also just doing some transformative work. So releasing that. 9th house, if you have Pisces in your 9th house, this is about releasing the idea of that you can't, oh darn, sorry Paco, that you can't, releasing ideas about what you can and cannot do in terms of teaching, being a student, traveling. There is something being called upon you, especially around your needs to open your mind and expand your mind. So there's some block that's being released. Another good placement for working with me. 10th house. If you have Pisces in the 10th house, ooh, this is a beautiful time for you, and really getting into your magic making and your ability to see people's issues that are coming up for them and help them transform and transcend. Of course, having firm boundaries in your work, because you are important. You have a lot to share with us. So thank you for having this placement, you out there. And then 11th house, if you have Pisces in the 11th house, this is illuminating and highlighting illuminating and highlighting community, and where you feel like community has let you down maybe, or where you feel like you need to release around people thinking things about you or not fitting in, or again, back to like the creativity thing, like where people, you have this idea that needs to be released around just who you are in community and what you have to offer, but also what creating, something about creating. So definitely looking at that and releasing with that. And then Pisces in the 12th house, this is the natural placement. It's double whammy because it's Pisces house. So Pisces in the 12th house is, this full moon is highlighting where this is really the dreamiest of the dream, and where you've really not been conscious, where you need to wake up and really be aware of your gifts and what you have to offer, and also where the healing feeling is wanting to happen in your life. So day-to-day routines and rituals are going to help you ground in, but you need to ask for help when you need it. And you also might want to set some kind of ritual around releasing just anything that you're unaware of, like having some kind of ritual around, because Pisces is the unseen. It's like knowing things without knowing why you know them, but it can also be past life issues. It can be issues that are below the surface of your consciousness. And so to do some kind of ritual around just releasing anything that you don't even know you're aware of. And one way you can do this for all of you guys is to just ask, whatever's in my highest good. I ask for anything that's not in my highest good to be cleared out so that I can move forward in my life. And you can also ask highest good to just work on your behalf for you, to really help you see things more clearly and to clear and purge at this full moon. This is a really powerful full moon to invite and accept guidance from your guardian angels, from your spirit guides, whatever you believe in. Really tapping in, getting quiet, getting outside with yourself. And hi, beautiful. How are you, Cynthia? And really listening to the guidance that's available to you. But more than listening, because I know a lot of you guys talk about not being able to hear spirit, this is the deal, is they're still there. They're still around you. They're still helping you. And so you can just ask them for the help without needing to know that they're actually there, okay? So whatever you feel like you need help within your life, if you're having, anxiety attacks or panic attacks, a lot of my clients are talking about these. It's really important, first of all, to make sure you're hydrated. Second of all, to get outside, get out of your house, get out of your house, get out of your house. And third of all, to ask spirit, ask the guides, ask the angels for help. Just ask them for help and see what shows up, okay? And be open to it. Just no matter how much you're being challenged in your life, right now is the most important time to not be resistant to the help and not say, oh, I know how this goes, I'm just going to suffer. Oh, I know how this goes, I'm just going to not have what I need. No, change the story and ask and invite assistance in, okay? It's been a rough few weeks. Yes, I hear you for a lot of people, okay? I'm sorry that you're going through it, and reach out. You can PM me if you want. But yeah, this is a great time to get your chart read if you haven't already, if you have, to get a transit reading, a follow-up. And also, I am doing intuitive development, so if you're really interested in learning tools and tips for really getting into your power and staying in your body and staying with your alignment to spirit, this is a great time to learn that, and that starts in September. And I will also be doing a few classes in Portland if you are in Portland, Oregon. And then finally, I have my astrology school, so if you're interested in that, just set up a free call with me, or you can read about it on my website. I will post a link below, and definitely check out my blog post on this full moon. And have a beautiful day, you guys. I hope things ease up and get beautiful, and on Monday, I'm sure things will be a lot clearer for us. So have a beautiful weekend. Bye.